Welcome back to the. That's a weird angle. Welcome back to the Fantasy Now Plus show. Wow, yeah, I haven't hosted in a little bit, guys, and Josh is not here today, so it's my show. It's all me. We do have a guest, so that's gonna be fun. But we are here to talk about fantasy football, all your updates for the week. We're gonna talk a little bit about March Madness and some of the crazy stuff that has gone on there. But before we get to the show, be sure to follow us on social media at Fantasy Now Plus, all spelled out. You can visit our website, fantasynowplus.com, to get all of the newest articles that we're writing, any news, all of our shows, podcasts, everything. And of course, be sure to follow us on YouTube. Like, subscribe to our stuff. We're up over 500 subscribers. We want to continue building on to 1,000 before the start of the season. If you're watching on Finstock Sports Network, which is who we are presented by, you can hop on over to Fantasy Now Plus to subscribe there as well. Just subscribe everywhere, guys. You know the drill. Josh has told you a million times. But yes, no Josh today. He is at Legoland or something like that with his son. I don't know. He's doing something, but no Josh today. So we all love that. But first, let's second, third, whatever we're at now. Again, I don't host the show, guys. This is normally Josh's responsibility. We're gonna bring in Chris, CJ, Pudge. How do you prefer? It's a Pudge?
Just Pudge. Pudge goes.
Pudge? All right.
Yeah.
So, Pudge, welcome to the show. One of our newest members of the Fantasy Now Plus show. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself? Like, who are you a fan of? Who do you root for? What kind of fantasy do you play?
Man, I have been a diehard Lions fan for my whole life, and the last 3 years has just been amazing.
Yeah.
Other than that, it's all Detroit sports. We got Tigers, we got Pistons. I mean, right now it's just let's go. It's a good time to be from Detroit, especially for Cade Cunningham.
Yeah, I feel like Detroit kind of missed on the fact that they could have named their basketball team like the Bears. Like, I know there's a football team, the Bears, but we could have had the Lions, the Tigers, the Bears. Oh my! And
George Halas would be upset.
I mean, whatever. We have two Cardinals. We have the baseball Cardinals and the football Cardinals from different cities.
St. Louis. Yeah, they play us all the time.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. So let's talk a little bit about March Madness. Are you following the brackets? Do you have a bracket?
Boy, oh boy, I think Memphis is going to lose. Yes, I do have a bracket, but I have a nagging suspicion that Memphis is going to go down tonight or tomorrow. Sorry.
Down. Is it tomorrow? Wait, when do they play next?
I think it's tomorrow.
Did they play yesterday?
Yeah.
They did. Who'd they beat? Now, oh my god! Now I'm not even like
yesterday.
Well, half the teams played yesterday. Half the teams do play today. Okay, so some of the big games here. Just cover the winners. Auburn beat Alabama State. Creighton beat Louisville in an technical upset, a 9-8. Michigan beat UC San Diego. Texas A&M beat Yale. A lot of people picked Yale to win, including myself. I picked Yale to win. Down the bracket, we've got. Oh, there's Memphis. Yeah, Memphis plays tonight. Or they play in 2 hours actually against Colorado State, and I have picked Colorado State as well. So hopefully Memphis does go down. Missouri Missouri upset by Drake. That was one of the big shocks last night. Texas Tech beat UNC Wilmington. Arkansas upsets Kansas. I also picked that one too. St. John's beats Omaha. Tennessee beats Wofford. UCLA beat Utah State. Purdue beat High Point. McNeese with the big upset against Clemson. Did you watch that game at all? That game was ridiculous. McNeese was curb stomping them, like absolutely curb stomping them. And then Clemson made it a game at the end and then just couldn't get it done at the end. Gonzaga curb stomped Georgia yesterday. Houston absolutely annihilated SIU. Wisconsin beats Montana. BYU beats VCU. And that's it. The rest of the games play today, and then we'll have more games tomorrow and Sunday. Who's your biggest, like, who are you most surprised about winning yesterday?
Well, I mean, it's got to be McNeese, right? The
Yeah,
ACC and the SEC have had a terrible tournament so far. But the McNeese thing, that Clemson only made 33% of their shots. Like, you can't win a game like that.
no, you can't until like the last 3 minutes of the game, and then they're like 5 for 5 from the 3-point line. I'm like, where was this? Where was this the entire game?
Yeah,
Like,
I couldn't
yeah,
believe it.
no, it
I
was
was dumbfounded.
yeah, completely. Who do you have? Who you're? I know you're a Michigan State guy, but who are you predicting to win the whole tournament?
I mean, I always pick State just because I'm not a college basketball guy. But
And you always
if
lose the
State or
bracket.
Michigan win, it'd be great. They're not going to, but it'd be awesome.
Yeah, I have Michigan losing to Auburn in the Sweet 16,
Yeah.
and I actually have Michigan State losing in the round of 32 to Marquette.
No. I mean, maybe, but anything's possible.
It's the what is it, the Lake Michigan game. You got two
Yeah.
sides of the lake there. So yeah, I don't know. As you can see, a Big East guy. I The Big East are tough. They are tough schools to play against. I mean, back-to-back champions for UConn.
Always in basketball. Always.
Always in basketball. They are always good. But I do have Duke winning the national championship. Just as long as Cooper Flag is good, I think they're going to win the national championship. But I have Duke beating Tennessee and Auburn beating St. John's in the Final Four.
Mm.
So we'll keep up with
I
that.
mean, St. John's is gonna. They're good.
They are.
It's hard to
They're
count them out.
unexpectedly good. All right, so let's talk about the important stuff. Now that we are done talking about March Madness, fantasy football in general, contracts, trades, signings,
Whew.
remaining free agents. First off, Jordan Mason traded to the Vikings on Tuesday. Then he was extended for 2 years for $10.5 million. That's a big one because the 49ers also. So they sent Jordan Mason away. They let Elijah Mitchell sign with the Chiefs. So now they just have Christian McCaffrey, who's 47 years old and has a million leg issues, and Isaac Guerendo, who started last season as their RB4 for the season. Are you worried about San Francisco not having a running back field?
I'm not worried. I'm not worried about them. They always seem to plug and play guys. It doesn't matter who's running the ball for them. I know it matters catching the ball. CMC, he's nobody's like him when he's healthy. Now, Isaac Guerendo and him running right now, can you tell the difference? I can't. You throw in Jordan Mason all last year, carried the team pretty much until he got hurt, and it didn't really seem to miss a step. The only time they missed a lot of conversions were on those ones where they throw to CMC on third down.
Yeah, I'm not really worried about the 49ers. Like you said, they are literally plug and play quarterback, plug and play wide receivers, running backs. It doesn't matter. Kyle Shanahan's offense works. It just they don't work down the stretch. It seems like you either miss the playoffs, you make the NFC Championship. I don't know how that's sustainable, but it is for them, I guess. Sean, our resident 49ers fan, he believes that the 49ers are working to trade up to go get Ashton Genty. So I'd prefer him to be literally anywhere else, but that's fine.
Yeah, I don't. Good for Sean. I don't.
Right.
If that happens, I'm happy for him. Happy for 49ers, and everybody else is going to be angry. But I actually think it's a better signing for Jordan Mason and Aaron Jones. It's going to be like a 60-40 split, I think, because they've only got 4 picks this year. So they're not going to backfill with another running back.
Yeah, definitely gonna need something there for the Vikings, and they actually just signed 2 additional wide receivers. We'll maybe cover that a little bit later once we get down the list here. But let's talk about some of the big signings of this week. Obviously, the big news of the week is Jamar Chase and T. Higgins are
Whew.
paired together for 4 more years. Jamar
Yeah.
Chase signed a 4-year, $161 million deal, making him the highest paid wide receiver in NFL history, beating Justin Jefferson by like $5 million a year. And T. Higgins,
Mhm.
4 years, $115 million over this 4 years. This is by far the most expensive wide receiver room in the league. But hey, they proved that apparently they don't need defense to win games
Well,
at the end of the season. So this is a great look for fantasy football for us, the fantasy football people, for guys who have Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, and T. Higgins, because this is definitely doubling down. We are going to only play offense this year. Trey Hendrickson is still a possibility that he might not be a Bengal next year, which just means they will have guys like me playing defense. And I cannot tell you
yeah,
how bad that's going to
Brett
be.
asked for a trade too.
Who did?
Oof. But you guys are, I mean, they're all stuck together. Those 3 are married to each other till what, 2027 now? So,
And that's exactly
yay.
what Joe Burrow wanted.
A lot
So
of balls thrown.
completely fine
Mm-hmm.
with that being the case. The Bengals do have money left. That a lot of people say they don't have a lot of money left, but they do apparently have $29 million left for this year.
Yeah,
So
and I
they
think they
can
only
still
need
sign people.
5. Oh yeah, I was gonna say they only need 5 million for their rookies, so they've got plenty of money to allocate other places.
Yeah, and there are still guys like Calais Campbell still out there that I think is being tied to the Bengals on a potential signing. That's a good veteran move for that locker room. I think
Mm-hmm.
Calais Campbell's veteran leadership brings more than his like current talent would. And if you're expecting to have a locker room full of rookies and first year players or second year players, then I think that's a great move there. Moving on, we talked about Mason Rudolph last week on how he signed with the Steelers, but there is strong belief as recently that he will be the starter for the Pittsburgh Steelers this year, which is crazy because there's guys like Russell Wilson and Aaron Rodgers still out there. So that's something. How do you go from Russell Wilson and Justin Fields to Mason Rudolph? Back to Mason Rudolph.
I I don't know how you put all that money into DK, a pick, a high pick, the second round, and then you reward those guys with Mason Rudolph, old baby hands himself. Uh, I don't know what they're doing over there in Pittsburgh. I trust them because they make the playoffs every year. But
I'm
fantasy
honestly
wise,
expecting them to bring Kenny Pickett back. I mean, to trade for Kenny Pickett, who's now a Cleveland Brown. Um, so Kenny Pickett is just like literally circling around the same area. I mean, from Pittsburgh to Philly to Cleveland, like he's made the
he
Bermuda
likes the
Triangle now.
Great Lakes.
Yeah.
Oh.
Other news: Zay Jones remains as a Cardinal. Gardner Minshew and Bailey Zappi signed with the Chiefs, which means Carson Wentz is now out in the open for anybody to sign. He was always, but they have doubled down that they are not bringing Carson Wentz back in. Also mentioned in the Chiefs, Juju Smith-Schuster and Kareem Hunt remain with the Chiefs, signing new deals. The Bears did have interest in signing Kareem Hunt, so that's something to think about there. Another big news, I can't remember if we covered. I think this news actually happened after we recorded. Cooper Kupp with the
Oh,
Seahawks.
yeah.
So yeah, I remember doing the show
Who's
now, and
gonna
I was
throw to him?
like, Sam
Not
Darnold.
Darnold. I don't
Sam
think so.
Darnold. It's gonna be
He's
Sam
not going to
Darnold.
be a starter in week 1. It's going
You
to
don't
be
think Sam
somebody
Darnold
else.
starts in week 1?
Oh, man. Look what they did last time.
3 years, $100 million for Sam Darnold not to start. This isn't
I
like
don't
Matt
know.
Castle. Like they do have Sam
I
Howell.
just.
I have Sam Howell in a league. I hope Sam Howell starts. That would be great for me. But
I would love
yeah,
it. Sam Howell ball, just throw it everywhere.
yeah. He was a top 5 quarterback in fantasy that year. His last year for the Commanders. I'm down for it. That would be fantastic. But no, so Cooper Kupp's contract is 3 years, $45 million. So not like a ton, but it is pretty good for his age. Other guys, Cooper Rush, no longer with the Dallas Cowboys. He is now a Baltimore Raven to sit behind Lamar Jackson, which could not be more opposite of each other. That's interesting
odd.
to me.
That's
Like
odd pairing.
it's been interesting to me since they didn't bring Snoop Huntley back.
It's
But
like
it's fine.
Joe Flacco and Anthony Richardson. I didn't understand that either, but it is what it is.
Okay. Josh Dobbs is now a New England Patriot to back up Drake May. So that's something. Josh Dobbs finds his way onto another team. Devin Duvernay signs with the Bears. So that's a wide receiver that they signed that is not named Keenan Allen. So I can just assume that Keenan Allen will not be a Chicago Bear. Michael Gallup unretires and is now a Commander.
That's maybe
And
taking over the Diami Brown. That's the only thing I can think of.
that is true. Diami Brown is not back. That's true. I don't know how you unretire for a year and then go to a divisional rival, but it's maybe he wants to play with Jaden Daniels. Everybody wants to play with Jaden. That's fine. And Mecole Hardman is the wide receiver that the Packers targeted and signed.
I get it. They need a field stretcher. Christian Watson's likely out for the whole year. It's just going to be a guy to take up space.
Christian Watson is likely out for at least 10 games every season. So it's they needed somebody to play. I guess Romeo Dobbs, Dontavian Wicks, Christian Watson, Mecole Hardman. That's the wide receiver core that you want to get, I guess.
You got Jaden Reed.
And Jaden Reed.
Yeah. Wide receiver 1, Jaden Reed. Go pick him up.
That's true. That is true.
It's rough. It's so rough.
All right. So the fun part we're going to talk about here is where is everybody going? But before that, if you are watching right now, be sure to follow us on social media, on YouTube, at FantasyNow Plus. You can go to our website, fantasynowplus.com, to get all of our news and videos, content. Everything can be found on our website. But yeah, you are watching Fantasy Now Plus, which is covering fantasy football content. If you're on audio right now, you're listening to us in the past, in the future. For us, it's the future. For you, it's the past. That's trippy.
Definitely.
Be sure to catch all of our videos on YouTube as well. So, and join our Discord. There's a link right underneath me. I don't know if it's there or over here, whatever. Chat.fantasynowplus.com. You can join our Discord and talk to all of our crew about everything football related. So, top remaining guys. So I have a list here. I've kind of broken it down into somewhat of tiers. So we're going to talk about these players together. For the quarterback position, still out there right now, Aaron Rodgers and Russell Wilson. This is going to still be probably the hot topic, probably until the draft, if not after the draft. I think these two players don't get signed until post-draft when things shake out. As of today, where do you see these two guys going? Let's talk about Aaron Rodgers first. Where do you see Aaron Rodgers going? Because he's drawn interest from Pittsburgh. He's drawn interest from New York. He wanted to go to Minnesota, but Minnesota was like, nah, we're not doing that.
I really think he's going to end up in Pittsburgh. He's going to show up right as spring training starts, or not spring training, I'm sorry.
Camp.
Right after 2 days, after camp, he's going to be there. And he's going to fail. But if they got old Mason Rudolph to back him up, they'll
you mean
be all
Aaron
right.
Rodgers is backing up Mason Rudolph?
That's that's the plan. I mean, I don't know, but George Pickens and Mr. DK, who already have tempers, are gonna be. This. It's gonna be. Get your popcorn and watch the game because something's gonna happen every game.
In the Steel City, yeah. It's
Mhm.
so interesting. Obviously had a terrible time in New York. You get paired up with Las Vegas because of Tom Brady. Then they bring in Geno Smith. You're thinking, okay, well, maybe Seattle. They bring in Sam Darnold. Maybe Minnesota. Minnesota's like, no, we're going to go with the rookie or the second with JJ, who's never played an NFL game in his life. Then you're like, okay, New York again? Like the Giants? Nope. It does not seem like Brian Dable wants him either. So now
Mm-mm.
he's being paired to Pittsburgh, who Tom, uh, Tom has basically said he'd prefer Aaron Rodgers over Russell Wilson, but they're not going to push into it. So I think you're right. I think it's going to be around camp time where they're finally going to maybe come to a deal, but retirement is still on the table for Aaron Rodgers. He could just retire. And honestly, I'd be happy. I'm tired of
The
it.
NFL would
He's
be a better place.
The NFL would be a much better place. Russell Wilson, again, also tied to Pittsburgh, also tied to New York Giants. I think this is a move that Brian Dable needs. Brian Dable brings in Cam Ward, but also Russell Wilson to mentor him. Because I think Russell Wilson could actually mentor Cam Ward better than Aaron Rodgers will ever mentor any rookie quarterback. I think this would be a good fit for him. Russell, that is. But again, I think it is going to be around the draft time when he gets signed as well.
It's gonna be tough if New York can't move up to get Ward. I don't think they take. I don't think they take another quarterback unless it's the second round.
Yeah.
So it
And New
would
York's
make a
at
lot of
2.
sense.
New York's at 2. So they're going to get a
Yeah.
quarterback if they want it. It's just, do they value Cam Ward more than Shador Sanders? And does any team value Shador Sanders more than Cam Ward? Because I think
Oh,
Cam
there's
Ward
gotta be
is the
teams.
quarterback one this season, this draft. But okay, so we talked about those two guys here. The Titans have talked about wanting to move on from Will Levis. They want to transition to no quarterback. I don't know if that means that they're going to draft a quarterback with the 101. All signs probably still lead to Abdul Carter going to the Titans at 101, which means they might wait until later in the draft. There are guys that probably will go rounds 3 through 5 that could probably be good. I mean, we got to think Russell Wilson was a 3rd round pick. So that Brock Purdy was the last pick of the draft. So there are
You
guys
got
that you can pick that are not top 10 players that can turn into franchise quarterbacks.
if Milrow, if he drops, I think he's a real possibility. I know he's a physical specimen. I mean, to say the least. He's got a cannon for an arm. But if they can mentor him and get him into a spot with maybe a Russell Wilson, I know they said that they're out on the Russell Wilson stakes, but that's another team with a rookie quarterback possibly that he could go to.
Yeah, you definitely
That
don't want
makes
Will
sense.
Levis mentoring the new quarterback. That would be a bad thing, I think. I think Will Levis has now entered backup status for life. But Jalen Milrow kind of gives me a little concern. Yeah, physical specimen. Yeah, has a cannon. But do you know who else in the AFC South is a physical specimen and has a cannon, but very inaccurate? And a lot of people want him to be benched. Anthony Richardson.
Hey, the
Moving on,
NFL
Jameis Winston and
emulates each
Joe.
other.
Yeah, Jameis Winston and Joe Flacco. Put these two guys here because they are now just everywhere. Jameis Winston coming from the Browns, Joe Flacco coming from the Colts. A lot of people are tying Jameis Winston to the New York Giants to sign with whichever quarterback they decide, whether that's Aaron Rodgers or Russell Wilson. Honestly, if I'm the Giants, just sign Jameis Winston. He's cheaper, and he's a great locker room guy. He will mentor the hell out of whatever quarterback they bring in, because he has taken that role. He is now a mentor for whatever quarterback coming as the number 1 overall pick before he understands what that spotlight means for a rookie. I think that would be a great fit. Joe Flacco needs to retire. He's done.
He's Ryan
Tired of him.
Fitzpatrick 2.0. Come
I don't
in,
even know if
throw the ball everywhere, and let's just score some points and
But
get
Joe
a high
Flacco
draft
had an
pick.
arm. I mean, I'm sorry. Ryan Fitzpatrick still had an arm. Flacco can't even like move. He reminds me more of Matt Ryan when he was a Colt. Like he can't
Oh, yeah,
move.
he's a
He
statue
can't
back
throw.
there.
He
Yeah.
can't. He's just not playing well. If it's not a slant right in front of his face, he's not getting that ball there. I watched it way too much last year. No, actually, I would almost. I was working on an article and comparing Aaron Rodgers is going to be the new like Ryan Fitzpatrick-esque player where he's just going to go to whatever team that needs him at that time.
Oh, but
Or
Ryan
I'm
Fitzpatrick
sorry,
is so
I'm
much more
sorry.
fun.
Aaron Rodgers is the new Joe Flacco.
Ooh.
A vet. He's won a Super Bowl MVP, but that was like forever ago. In fact, Joe Flacco has won a Super Bowl more recently than Aaron Rodgers has. But I don't think Aaron Rodgers plays for more than a season with a team moving forward.
If Aaron Rodgers can't be the center of attention, I think he's moving on. I think he's going on to greener pastures this year.
Greener. Running backs. Really, there's one, I think, somewhat premier running back left. That's J.K. Dobbins. Had a great year. Finally healthy with Los Angeles. Los Angeles has not brought him back. They still have... I was about to say Kyron Williams, but that's the other LA team. Who do they have on their roster?
Najee Harris.
That's right. They just brought in Najee Harris. They don't need J.K.
Mhm.
Dobbins. So where do you see J.K. Dobbins fitting in at this point? I don't see it as a feature
He looked
back.
real good.
He did.
He
look
looked
really
real good next to Jalen Samuels. I think him and Jalen Samuels would work. They'd be a good pair. It'd be pretty cheap, and they wouldn't have to. I mean, Pittsburgh doesn't have to pony up any money at all to get Dobbins. If you look at the other contracts that all the guys have signed, Miles Sanders. I mean, minimal contracts.
Literally minimal contracts. Miles Sanders went for 1 year, $1.3 million. A lot of guys went for 1 year under $2 million. So I think that's really, it's going to be a prove it deal wherever he goes. We're not looking at a big time contract. In fact, the biggest contract the biggest contract that was not an extension was 1 year, 6.25, and that was Rico Dowdle. Of course, we have Saquon, who was extended 2 years, $41 million. Aaron Jones, 2 years, $20 million. And Jordan Mason was traded and then extended for 2 years, 10.5. But yeah, Rico Dowdle is the highest paid free agent running back this cycle. It's boring. That is boring. Whew. Not even Najee got that much.
It's ugly.
5.25. So it's not a good market for the running back position. I think a lot of teams kind of have it mostly figured out. If not, they're running 2 or 3 running backs at a time, so they're not going to be signing a high dollar amount. Other guys, Nick Chubb and Gus Edwards. Gus Edwards being another Charger from last season. Very touchdown dependent in the red zone for fantasy. Nick Chubb coming off of another injury that sat him out last year, right? He did get injured again last year, didn't he? Now I'm questioning myself. I always have these stats up.
Yeah, right at the end of the year.
Yeah, I thought so. He finally came back and then he got injured again, which is a real bummer. I mean, the Browns said that they are happy to bring him back, but they wanted him to test the market first. So I think that's more of a sign that the Browns are willing to bring him back for $1 million. $1.3 million seems to be the average going rate for washed up running backs these days. So I could see that happening.
Then we got guys like minimum.
Yeah, I think it is. The only contract less than that 1.3 million was Buffalo Bills signed Darrington Evans for 1 year, 1.2, and Tyler Goodson was extended with the Colts for 1 year, 1 million. So tough days to
Break
be
the
a running
bank.
back. Jamal Williams and Cam Akers. This is an interesting one here because I think these two are both good in the certain circumstances. I could really see Cam Akers leaning back with Minnesota and being the starter by week 11 when the other two are injured.
Cam Akers is a special. I mean, he was a special guy, and then he had both of those tears, and he came back and he did well last year. I thought that he looked like he still had juice. I could see him in a place up like New England,
Behind
over there with
Ramondre.
Ramondre Stevenson. Yeah, a cheap guy. He's not going to drop the ball like Ramondre. That right there, I could see him over in Cleveland, honestly, if Chubb doesn't come back.
Yeah, Cleveland doesn't really have a strong running back room right now. Their running
Jerome
back
Ford,
room.
and
Oh,
that's
Jerome
it.
Ford, Pierre Strong.
Yeah.
Say what you want about there, but yeah, I mean, he could land there. Um, that wouldn't be a terrible spot. They're trying to rebuild, and at this point, you can get him for 1 year, 1.3 million. So that's fine.
Exactly.
Jamal Williams is another. Again, he. It's so sad. I miss him as a Lion. He was so. I don't know. Did you like him as a Lion? I think you froze. Okay. So he's been back with New Orleans the last 2 years. He was signed and just kind of taken as a hostage. I don't know what's going on with Pudge here, but he is completely frozen on my end. Um, oh, maybe he's back. I don't know. No, he's gone. Okay, cool. Well, it's just me talking. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the
Can't.
show. Uh-oh.
Hello, are you
Nope,
there?
you're not talking. Oh, yep. Okay, now I can hear you. I think you're back. Jamal Williams has been with New
Okay.
Orleans the last 2 years and has been absolutely awful. But he was good with the Detroit Lions. Does he have a future in the NFL? Do you think?
Yeah, he broke the touchdown record.
It was
Not with
17.
all
Yeah.
these incoming backs. No.
Yeah.
With all these young guys, they're gonna come in and
I think he is going to be another backup, maybe. I don't think he might get the Leonard Fournette treatment. I mean, never seen again. Makes a practice squad, but yeah, I think he's closer to of the running backs left. I think J.K. Dobbins really has the best opportunity to get signed and actually play next year. But I could see J.K. and Nick Chubb both ending up in Cleveland. Wide receivers, we have three big ones on the list here: Amari Cooper, Stephon Diggs, Keenan Allen. None of these guys have signed. Um, Stephon Diggs was visiting New England yesterday. So we're kind of waiting to see if that turns out to anything, which would be interesting. Another young quarterback to mentor. We can mention that he went to Buffalo when Josh Allen was young and being mentored. He's seen CJ Stroud as a second year player, was good until he tore his ACL. Could go to Drake May. They don't have any wide receiver help there. And that's a revenge game against Buffalo twice a year. Could be worth it.
yeah, Demario Douglas is not the wide receiver one at 5'8" that you need. I like Diggs there. I do. There's actually another guy on your list that I would like there more, but Amari Cooper I think would be good up there. I don't know what happened with him in Buffalo, but that would be nice for him to stick it to him.
Yeah, it kind of fell off the face of the earth in Buffalo. I feel like he had a good first game and then nothing after that. So I could also see Amari Cooper going out west. He has not been good in the Eastern time zone. If you really want to think about it, like Cleveland did not, he had an okay game or an okay season. His last one, then he goes to Buffalo. Eh.
Mm.
But when he was out in Oakland, when he was in Dallas, he was pretty good. He got
He
traded to
likes
the
that
East
warm weather.
Coast. Yeah. So I could see him going out to Arizona, back out to Arizona, pair up with Marvin Harrison Jr., give Kyler Murray another weapon. I think he could do pretty well out in Arizona. As far as Keenan Allen, he is being tied to the Las Vegas Raiders right now, which would be putting him back in the AFC West. They need somebody. You can't run Jacoby Myers and Brock Bowers that can't be it. Geno Smith is going to need somebody, and getting Keenan Allen will help Geno.
He will move the chains. He doesn't win on athleticism. He's a guy that goes out there and wins on nuance. He's going to go out there, do his job every single day, bring his lunch pail. He'll be hurt for 4 games, but guess what? He's still going to get 120 targets. He's going to have all the first downs. He's going to be that guy, and that's okay because he doesn't have to be the guy over there with Brock Bowers.
Yeah.
I think it's better for real football than fantasy. Absolutely.
Yeah. Let's talk about Tyler Lockett, because just yesterday I was thinking he'd be a good fit in Minnesota. Mentor JJ McCarthy. He'd be the locker room vet in that position group where you've got Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison, you have TJ Hawkinson there. They need a vet that's won a Super Bowl. They have nobody there that has won a Super Bowl. Aaron Jones is the next veteran there. I think adding a guy like Tyler Lockett would be good. However, they just went out and signed 2 wide receivers. So it's just as I was like, this would be a perfect fit. They go out and sign Tim Jones and Rondale Moore, who Tim Jones is probably going to be a camp casualty, a camp body.
Yeah.
But I think adding a guy like Tyler Lockett would be a good fit there.
Yeah, because Lockett and Rondale Moore, Rondale Moore's a little smaller, but they're right around this. They'd be playing the same position. Yeah, they do need some experience there.
They do. I again, they have 2 really great wide receivers. They have an elite wide receiver. But give me a guy who's also
maybe Tennessee,
very
Lockett.
consistent. Oh, he's done then. Career's done. If he goes to Tennessee, they get all the old wide receivers and they just die, literally dead. In the
That's what happens.
Andre Johnson, great player, goes to Tennessee, done. DeAndre Hopkins, great player, goes to Tennessee, done. You cannot convince me a good wide receiver can go to Tennessee and be successful.
Calvin Ridley. I mean, he was on his first contract at 29 years old.
Calvin, right, and he's already done. He needs to be. He's already an old man. Calvin Ridley. Let's look at his stats here. He had one season. He finished as wide receiver 28, which is probably the highest a wide receiver in Tennessee has ever done. So that's impressive. Looking at his games here, last year, right? He's played, 2 years in Tennessee. He did really well against the Detroit Lions when he had 15 targets to do well. He did really good against the Chargers when he had 2 touchdowns, but he only had a total of 4 touchdowns last year.
Well, I don't think they had very many to go around. That was probably 20% of their touchdowns.
You cannot convince me an elite wide receiver can go to Tennessee and be good. So Tyler Lockett would be done. Robert Woods, another good example, was doing well with the Rams, went to Tennessee. Who's Robert Woods? Who's Robert Woods? I don't know.
He's selling
Tyler
cars.
Boyd was great with the Cincinnati Bengals. Goes to Tennessee. Who's Tyler Boyd? He got the Robert Woods treatment. Like,
I forgot he went there last year.
yeah, everybody did because he didn't get used at all. He just died.
Where wide receivers go to die, Tennessee.
It is. It is. You cannot convince me that wide receivers do not go to Tennessee and Baltimore to die.
Oh man, it's bad.
Anyway,
all right. How about this?
So, yeah,
send them down to Jacksonville. Help that wide receiver room. They're young. Brian Thomas Jr., Lawrence. I mean, they got
like that. We're talking about Tyler Lockett,
they got
right?
a brand new, yeah.
I like
they
that.
got a
That's
brand
good.
new head coach. Was the OC over in Tampa. I like Lockett down there. I think he'd be a good presence.
I do. Actually, I do like that fit. That's a lot better. Yeah, really mentor that whole position group, that entire offense. That'd be pretty good. One other guy that I want to talk about is Brandon Cooks. Didn't really have the year that he expected to have last year due to injuries. Yeah, he only played in 10 games last year, and that was at the beginning and the end of the season. And when he came back in the end of the season, it was Cooper Rush and CD Lamb played in some games, I think. They didn't really have anybody. He hasn't been great since 2021 when he was in Houston. He's kind of been up all over in his career. New Orleans, New England, Los Angeles, Houston, Dallas. This is the guy that goes to Tennessee. This is who goes to Tennessee with Calvin Ridley because his career is done. They go get another veteran who's 31 years old. I don't want to say he fits in Tennessee, but this screams Tennessee Titan right now to me.
Do you send him up to Seattle? Cheap labor? Good slot guy. He's not going to stretch the field like Lockett, but he's a little bit younger. He's got a little juice left. Is
he younger?
I think he's 31. Question,
actually. Cooks is 31. How old is Lockett? I think Lockett is 40. Also. You would think Lockett is 40. He is only 32, which is crazy.
So he's just a little bit younger.
Been in the league forever. Only 2015. Interesting. Anyways, I think that could be a good fit too, because they have completely cleared house on the Seahawks. They have Kupp. That's really all they have now.
Jackson slot guy.
Najigba. I don't know why I forgot about. So they don't really need Brandon Cooks, but they could use him. They only have 2 wide receivers there, and Marquez Valdez-Scantling, which we've talked about on the show, that 5 of his last 6 quarterbacks have won the MVP.
It's got to be
Derek
something
Carr
to it.
Being the only one that didn't. So, just Sam Howell MVP. Sam Howell MVP.
Brandon Cooks in Vegas. Oh, Sam Howell. I'm telling you, get Sam Darnold out of here. Get Sam Howell in.
So I have breaking news from Sean. Aaron Rodgers is at the Steelers facility right now.
Let's see.
To be the backup quarterback behind Mason Rudolph.
Imagine getting supplanted by him. Mason Rudolph, big face Mace.
Doesn't care about anything
Myles
either.
Garrett.
Literally just
gonna rip them.
Went after Myles Garrett. I mean, if you're not fearful for Myles Garrett, I don't want to get in front of you. If you're not scared by Myles Garrett, there's something probably psychologically wrong with you as a person. I don't want to talk about the tight ends. Tyler Conklin, Gerald Everett are just not doing it for me. I mean, Gerald Everett went to a team that already had a tight end, and I think was the 3rd tight end. He went from being tight end 1 to tight end 3. Tyler Conklin, it's just not doing it for me. Mo Alley Cox.
Conklin was okay until they traded for Devontae. There was nobody else really up there other than Wilson and Alan Lazard, and he was soaking up those targets until Devontae came over. I think
The
he'd
problem
be good at
the problem with
Go ahead.
Conklin is he's never even finished as a fantasy relevant tight end. We're not starting 2 tight ends. You maybe, if you have 2 really good ones, you put one in the flex, but he's never finished higher than tight end 16. So it's just like,
Oof.
and he's 29. Like, he's just not doing it for me. Same thing with, I mean,
Nah.
Gerald Everett again was pretty good in Los Angeles and did absolutely nothing in Chicago. And by pretty good, I mean his highest was tight end 13
Yeah.
3 years ago. So none of these guys are really
Matt
doing
Stafford
much
has
for
never
me.
produced a tight end 1 in fantasy.
Who hasn't?
Matt Stafford.
Oh, well, he was with the Chargers, not the
Oh.
Rams. Justin
Oof.
Herbert. Still, Matt Stafford really hasn't, has he? No, he hasn't. He hasn't.
Nope.
Okay, he's never had a tight end.
Are you talking Eric Ebron's not a tight end? First round pick, Eric Ebron?
We're not talking about Eric Ebron on this show, are we?
I'm a Lions guy. We can do this all day.
He played in Indy longer than he played in Detroit.
That's why I brought him up.
He was tight end 14 in Detroit. Eric Ebron was in 2017. Then he was pretty unhappy. Immediately got traded after 1 year in Detroit after being a first round pick. And then he finished as tight end 4. Eric Ebron did with Andrew Luck, and then literally fell off the face of the earth. So, all right. I mean that's the news for the week. There's really not anything else out there. So yeah, we'll be back next week on Friday to talk more about what happens this week. Probably have some more segments because unless Amari Cooper, Stephon Diggs, Keenan Allen, Aaron Rodgers, Russell Wilson, and J.K. Dobbins get signed, we're at the bottom of the barrel on guys. So we're probably going to start breaking out rankings here soon, talking about some of our top 10 guys going into the season, whether that's dynasty or redraft. We'll start talking about rookies also. The draft is coming up in a month. So we're very close to the NFL draft. We'll start talking about some of those guys and how they are, what that means for your dynasty seasons. But I always forget to play this outro music, so I'm going to play that now since Josh is not here to remind me. But guys, check us out, FantasyNowPlus.com, all spelled out. You can see it on the link at the bottom there. It's also in the description of this episode, so be sure to check that out. Subscribe everywhere, whether that's YouTube, Apple, Spotify, all the places. Blue Sky, we're not really on Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it. Facebook, Instagram, all the places. Not posting a lot right now, but once that season starts getting here, once draft season's here, we are going to be posting all the time. You can follow Pudge on, I think, both X and Blue Sky at FFLA Pudge. You can follow me, Justin Bowerly, on Blue Sky. But guys, until next week, we are out of here.
Thanks for listening. Be sure to like and subscribe wherever you watch or listen to podcasts. We'll be back next week for more ways to win your league.